I couldn't tell you, Noah. I don't know what would happen if you mix Diablo sauce and hot sauce from Taco Bell. I mean, maybe it just blows up, but
I'm telling you, it's one of two things. They either make fire or they either make the fire sauce that's in between the two, or it's a whole fucking new thing.
Dude, could you imagine the heat levels on that? That would be unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's the Trace Taco Bell sauce. Taco Bell Trace.
All right, you ready, dude?
I mean, yeah, we're already recording. Let's get it.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, Degens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I am, of course, the Brofict One. AJ this year is my co-host, Noah. Follow us on Twitter at Brofict1 and him at @N_Engelbretson. Degenerate Takes at Degen Takes on all of your platforms. That's right, all of them. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help us fight against these evil algorithms, these dirty, dirty bastards. I swear to God. Not as much of the dirty bastards, though, as App State almost was today, not winning the fucking game. Jesus Christ, dude.
They won. It's okay.
They won by 1 fucking point, dude. Jesus H. Christ. Yeah, we're talking 31-30. App State over Marshall. Marshall coming out and looking like a wrecking machine, bro. What the hell was that? What are your thoughts on this game? Because my only thought was maybe App State isn't the covering machine that we thought about.
Well, I mean, I don't know that I fully committed to them being like a covering machine, but I did think they would cover this game. And it was only a 7-point spread. So there's no reason to freak out about a 1-point win. This shit happens. They still won. I was more so on App State, and I still am, to be a 10-2, 11-1 regular season team here. Obviously, one loss already. I think they probably lose to Coastal, but I'd like them to still go, 10-2. Eventually find their way into the rankings. They're not yet there. They won't be after this week, but a couple of weeks from now, maybe they work their way into the rankings. We get our ranked matchup between App State and Coastal Carolina. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
That'll be a good game.
So, they had a close call, but they were only a 7-point favorite at home. So it's not like they really blew it that much. They just underperformed by 6 points.
That's true. I guess in a non-bet gambling sense, they did look pretty good. All things considered, that Marshall team against the run is really good. That might be something to look out for. These next couple weeks is a bad running team and Marshall keeping it close. Any other thoughts on App State today or any other college football that happened?
No, just looking forward to the games tomorrow.
Woo!
Only game today was just that one, but we got some good ones tomorrow. I know Virginia and Wake Forest. I think we both put Virginia on upset watch here.
Yep. Yes, we did.
Fresno State now in the rankings after a hot start to the season. Despite a loss, they are a non-Power 5 one-loss team in the rankings.
Unreal.
For those of you who may or may not know, they almost beat Oregon, who is ranked number 3 right now. So Fresno State, the real deal, 30-point favorite against UNLV. That game won't even be close. So I'll watch it, but it's not going to be exciting.
No, not exciting whatsoever. But hey, it's football.
That spread's too high to bet on anyways. So
way too high. And they're not even going to put out a money line on most books on that. Hey, I'll watch it though. Football's football. I mean, I'll take however much of it I can during this period. With that being said, we're coming to a close. I'm sorry. No, we'll talk about that later. We're talking about a lot of these football teams. We're putting a lot of these teams on upset watch. We're getting, we're about a quarter way through the season coming into this week. There are some teams though that are undefeated, and there's a lot more of those in the NFL. I don't know about you, but all over, seeing lines and stuff. I think you showed me the lines. There are some teams and stuff that are like projections and everything. The last team that's going to be undefeated and the last team that's going to win a game. And, you know, you and I have the Jaguars going 0-17. So, I mean, that's pretty much a lock. But what do you think about this, Noah? What team do you think is going to go undefeated last going into this season? I mean, you got the Buccaneers, the Cardinals, the Rams. I'm missing a couple, I know.
Panthers now 3-0.
Panthers now 3-0. Very true.
Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders.
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
And the Broncos also.
That's right. Yeah, the Broncos also.
I think we have 7 2-0 teams and 7 0-2 teams. So
that's unreal. That's unreal. What do you think about these teams? Which one do you think? You know, looking at schedules and just how these teams are performing so far in the season, what team do you think is going to be the last team to take an L?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because there's a couple that I can lock in for this week. That being, well, obviously Carolina, they already won tonight. But
easy lock.
But I'll lock in Arizona against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And
who the Broncos playing?
Denver plays the Jets. I do think I do think the Jets are going to hit their stride at some point. It's just not this early. It's too early for that. It's not yet. They're not going to hit it this week. I do like them to cover 10.5. We covered that in Degenerate bets.
Yes, we did.
I really like the Jets to cover 10.5. I don't like them to win, however. Obviously, you know, you got Tampa Bay and the Rams, which by any metrics you're seeing from Vegas, ESPN, anything like that, this game looks to be as close to a 50-50 as you can get. So for those reasons, I am not picking either of those teams to be the last undefeated team. Either of them could lose their first game this week. Rams having a very difficult schedule coming forward after the Bucs game, which is why I especially don't like the Rams. Even though I think the Cardinals are a lock this week, you know, they got to play the Rams next week, and then they got a tough schedule going forward as well. Bucs don't have a super easy schedule, but I'm not even looking forward because I like the Rams to win this game anyways.
Even though you're not going to pick a team, you're going to pick the Rams to pick this game.
No, and then I think the Panthers are a pretty weak team, even though they're off to a 3-0 start. They kind of got a leg up on everybody right now. Oh, and then San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
And here's the most ridiculous thing that I saw. San Francisco has the shortest odds to be the last team to go undefeated.
Really?
Does Vegas hate the Packers that much?
I think they're scared after that week 1, dude. I think that's all it is at this point because they played fine on Monday Night Football against the Lions. They won now they're supposed to. I mean, I think it's just that week 1.
I suppose. I mean, it's to the extent they're giving San Francisco what, 4.5,
5 points in some books.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, it's unreal what's going on right now.
It's. I mean, I get our defense is suspect, but like our defense has been suspect for as long as I can remember. I mean,
and I don't think your defense
was different, but
yeah, and I don't think your defense is.
But we have Aaron,
suspect.
But there's Aaron. Like, did they forget that Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and now? And this season is going to be different. Week 1 was different because, you know, everything calmed down after he came back. But then after week 1, people started talking and people started talking and people are still talking. And Aaron Rodgers seems like totally the guy who is fueled by these negative comments that other people are leaving. He needs to prove them wrong. He has like an internal need to prove them wrong. He has like a hatred for these people, like a burning hatred that he has to prove himself. And he will go out and he's going to, and people are talking this week. My God, Aaron Rodgers. No, he can't win in Florida. He can't win in California. Dude, watch out. Because I don't know who the fucking San Francisco secondary is going to cover Devontae Adams, first of all. Aaron's going to be playing out of his mind. Even if the offensive line is lacking, we've had years and years of Aaron's got years and years of experience playing behind a shitty offensive line and still ripping off 10, 11, 12 wins in a season. So, man, I just, that San Francisco was one that confused me the most. But to answer the question, I think this week's game will be tough for the Raiders against the Dolphins, but I think if they make it past the Dolphins, I think the Raiders will be the last undefeated team in the NFL.
Wow.
This season.
Wow.
I think they go till week 8 or 9 before, until they have to play the Chiefs, and I can't remember. It's either week 8 or 9, or maybe even 10.
That'd be a good run for them. And I could totally see it. However, I told you, in the beginning of the season, and I told you way before the season even started. I told you right before the season started. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be the Buccaneers, dude. It's the Buccaneers or the Cardinals at this point. The Buccaneers are going to go 20-0. Don't get me wrong. This Rams game is going to be a challenge, but Tom Brady all day, every day. If it's not the Buccaneers, I'm honestly going to sprinkle money on it being a tie, because I could also see this game going into overtime and then ending in a tie. Everyone's,
No,
you get a couple ties every year. And I think both defenses and both offenses are evenly matched enough to where, you get
ties between shitty teams. You get 1 or 2 ties with shitty teams because they go to overtime and then neither offense can fucking produce.
But what I'm saying is, okay, let's
good
scenario.
Good teams find a way to score. Good teams find a way to score.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But my point being, so Matt, let's for shits and giggles, okay, let's say this game goes into overtime. Matt Stafford and the Rams get the toss. They elect to receive. They go down and they score a touchdown. Buccaneers get a chance to go down and score a touchdown. And then at that point,
that's not how it works.
What do you mean?
Touchdown, it's over. If they score a field goal, the other team gets a
right.
chance to.
Yeah, I hate the NFL, dude. I hate the NFL so much. It shouldn't be sudden death. That's fucking stupid. But anyway,
I mean, it's not exactly a sudden death, but
but I mean, when you're talking about Matt Stafford and Tom Brady, it turns into sudden death. You know what I mean? It's get a turnover, you're fucked. And so, yeah, I mean, but with that being said,
I don't think this game's going to be close.
I don't get that, dude. I think this game is going to be way closer. I think I don't think
Tom Brady versus elite defenses. Just that's all I need to say. Like, he is going to be under pressure. He's going to have a miserable game. The Rams are going to win this by 2 or 3 scores.
Dude, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you on that stat with elite defenses and everything. I mean, the numbers don't lie. But with that being said, I think this is a different Tom Brady. I think he is the king of Duncan, Duncan drops or whatever the fuck you call them.
Dink and doink offense.
Yeah, fucking dink and doink offense.
But Tampa Bay is not a dink and doink
but they can run that offense if they need to. Are you kidding me? He'll go to Gronk 25 times if he needs to on quick little out.
It's not in Bruce Arians' fucking DNA. Bruce Arians throws the ball as deep and as much as possible.
But we're seeing this is a different Bruce Arians. Okay, this is a Bruce Arians that has come out.
This is not a different Bruce Arians.
This is because he has come out and he has said, I give Tom Brady more control. If Tom Brady doesn't like a play, he obviously will look at the sideline and tell him to fuck right off. And we saw that last week.
And that's why they won a Super Bowl, because Bruce Arians did not have as much control as he normally does, because Bruce Arians is not a good coach.
And so what's the difference between this year and last year? You think this year Bruce Arians was like, oh, well, I won the Super Bowl last year, Tom. It wasn't any of your fucking help, and so I'm going to take over complete control. That's not what's happening.
No, because their route to the playoffs didn't have them playing against elite defenses.
So what? Tom Brady? No. Okay. No. Bullshit,
because
dude. Tom Brady.
Hear me out. Tom Brady was terrible against elite defenses last year. Had a terrible game against the Rams. Terrible game against the Bears. There was another primetime one against they almost lost to the Giants, who were actually a really good defense last year.
Yeah, they were.
Saints blew them out twice in the regular season. They got the better of the Saints barely in the playoffs. Barely got past Washington in the first round of the playoffs. Really good defense. Packers, not as good of a defense. And that was still a very close game. And then the Chiefs, not a very good defense. And, so Brady is the GOAT when he doesn't have to play against a good defense, more specifically, a good pass rush. That is what really has fucked up Brady his entire career. And he's had such good protection that it doesn't come up very often. But whenever he has to go up against an elite pass rush, he plays terrible games. And you will see this. You will see this week when they play the Rams, because Aaron Donald, that Rams pass rush, is going to be getting in on him with a 4 or 5 man rush. And Brady's going to have a bad game.
Don't get me wrong. I do think this will be one of Brady's not as pretty games. I agree with you on that, Noah. However, it doesn't matter if it's covering the spread or whatever. It just matters who has more points at the end of the game. And Tom Brady is really good at making sure that they have more points at the end of the game than the other team. Tom Brady is the last person I will ever doubt ever again. Did you not see the look in his eye that he had in Dallas? If he can do that to Dallas's defense, which we both agree is doing a hell of a lot better than we thought, and we might have underrated them coming into the season.
I still think they're a bottom half of the league defense.
But regardless, they gave him trouble. They got pressure on him. They were able to make trouble for him. They got pressure on him. And like you said,
the Cowboys scored like 29 points on him.
Regardless.
How was that good? They gave up 28 to the fucking Falcons last week. How was that good?
Regardless, it doesn't matter. Tom Brady had more points at the end of the game. Tom Brady is going to have more points than Matt Stafford at the end of this game. And that's all that it comes down to. It's not going to be pretty. I think it's going to be a hell of a lot closer than you're giving it credit. I don't think this is a blowout in either direction. I think this is under a touchdown type score. I think it's going to be a sweat out through the end. But Tom Brady
who won between the Bucs and the Rams last year?
Rams probably. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was probably the Rams.
In Tampa Bay, Jared Goff threw 2 interceptions and the Rams still won by 3 points.
But that was, if my memory serves me correct, that was early in the season, wasn't it? When Tom Brady was the first to admit that they weren't looking the best. That was week 11.
That was 11th game. So either week 11 or week 12, depending on when Tampa Bay's bye week was. I don't know.
I don't remember.
So that was actually later in the season. And Jared Goff threw 2 picks and the Rams still ended up winning that game by 3.
All right. So then my next argument, Tom Brady is a quarterback who plays extremely well with a chip on his shoulder. And we know that for a fact. He has held on to that. He was picked 199 his entire career. And he sure as hell remembers that Sean McVay beat him. He doesn't give a fuck that Jared Goff was the quarterback behind there. He just knows that Sean McVay beat him. And so he's going to make sure that shit doesn't happen again. That's just how Tom Brady operates. And I respect him for that. And so I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Rams are going to prove that they are one of the top teams in the NFC. However, I think Tom Brady is still going to find a way to put more points on the board.
I can't wait till they fucking lose this week so you can stop fucking talking about this fucking 20-0 bullshit.
But I won't, because they will be 3-0, Noah, and I will be beating that 20-0 drum for the.
No, they're going to be 2-1, and then they're going to lose and then they're going to lose the week after the Patriots, and they're going to be 2-2 because it's Bill Belichick's revenge game, and Bill Belichick has never had a revenge game before.
That's true. That is true.
He may have in some way, somehow, but this will be the one and only true Bill Belichick revenge game. And the game plan he's dialing up against the Bucs in week 4 is going to be
just 12-man blitz. He's going to 11-man blitz every game, every play.
We're gonna see play calls that have never been seen in football before in that game. And Belichick's going to win this game by literally the entire Bucs coaching staff is just going to be dumbfounded because they're not going to know what's going on because of all the. Like Bill Belichick he spent like 8 months on this one game, and that's why the Patriots are off to a slower start. That's why they lost week 1 is because Bill Belichick is He's been game planning for week 4 all season long,
Hey, I will
or
say,
all off season.
it wouldn't shock me. I will say,
And the
I
Bucks
did.
are going to start. Bucks are going to start 2-2, and then
Nah.
they're. I still think they're going to win 11 games, but they're going to start 2-2. Two of those 5 losses are coming in the first 4 weeks. So.
Not happening, but regardless, I actually just finished. HBO has a documentary out about Bill Belichick and Nick Saban and like the conversations they had. It's amazing watch listening to those two guys talk about football. But once the schedule came out, Bill Belichick called up Saban and was like, "Hey man, this is what I'm thinking of how to fuck Tom Brady up. Is this what you would do?" And so you probably have Nick Saban and Bill Belichick scheming on this one. I mean, yeah, it's going to be scary for Tom. You're right. This is Belichick's first revenge game. That's going to be something to watch.
That Patriots roster is starting to look like Alabama 2.0.
Yeah, starting to look like a football team, Yeah, Alabama 2.0. Hey, if it worked in college, it'll work in the pros.
But one last thought on football here.
Yeah.
Our winless teams.
Oh yeah.
AJ, who is your pick to be the last winless team to win a game? How late in the season?
Ooh.
Do you think it'll be, and how many wins will that team have? Who's getting the number 1 draft pick? Well, actually, your last winless team doesn't even have to be the number 1 draft pick, but like who's going to be the last to win the game, and how many wins will they have?
All right. So obviously, the first thing that went to my mind was the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I'm going to be fair. Okay, you said the last team to win a game, so I'm going to give them a chance here. I do think they will win 1 game, and I think that's week 6 against Miami. Just because I think this Miami team is a hell of a lot worse than we thought going into this season, including the O-line, D-line, all around. That defense, let me take that back. That defense still can do some damage and everything.
They did just give up 35 to Buffalo. So,
but granted, that's a Buffalo team that's firing on all cylinders, looking to make a Super Bowl run. So I'm not going to.
Well, and a pissed off Buffalo team coming off of a loss.
Yeah, so. Exactly. So I mean, Buffalo was going to win that game, whether it was a blowout or not. With that being said, the Miami team might not be that good. Trevor Lawrence, this might be his first game where he looks like an NFL quarterback, and Urban Meyer looks like an NFL coach, and his schemes and everything and how he runs it, the game could be, and week 6, that could be that time. That's the only game I really see them winning because the rest of their schedule is rough. I think they're getting the first round pick, which I think is great for this organization. I think that's what they want. They want to develop Trevor Lawrence in the line of fire while getting draft picks and everything and able to build a team around him and build a dynasty. I think if they do this right, they could be New England 2.0. It's as simple as that. Trevor Lawrence knows he's good at football. He's the kind of guy I think would take a pay cut in order to support the team and get some running backs and wide receivers around him, keep that team fresh. So, yeah, give me the Jaguars, and I'll give them a win week 6 with the number 1 draft pick. If they don't win week 6, they're going over, and it's going to be a long season for Jaguars fans.
Who do they play week 6?
The Dolphins.
So you think they beat the Dolphins, who are a possible playoff contender in week 6?
With Tua out and with how we saw that defense play?
It'll still be like a 7 or 8 point spread. I mean,
no, absolutely.
If you're confident on that, though, I mean,
yeah, it's going to be a high spread.
I'm not challenging.
Going to win a game at that point. Yeah, no, I'm explaining. Yeah, Jacksonville isn't going to win a game by that point. I'm expecting it, honestly, to be in double digits, especially if Miami can get a couple wins in the next couple weeks. Well, no, actually, yeah, Miami. It looks like the next time they could get a win is in Jacksonville because they've got Indy, Las Vegas, and Tampa in between. So that's just a rough schedule for Miami, especially with Tua out for the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Indy's not a rough one anymore, dude.
True.
Indy's, so they opened the season right at what, 9.5, 10.5 for their over under for wins.
Yeah, what's that now? Like 7, 6?
6.5,
Woo.
and it was at 10.5 at the season opening. So
That's
after
rough.
two losses, you would expect that to drop to 8.5. But no, it's dropped all the way to 6.5. Carson
that's
Wentz
rough.
obviously being injured. And I was looking at their schedule because I'm like, oh, this is a joke. I have to take them over 6.5. After looking at their schedule, I was right on that like 7-win mark, and I'm like, I'm not confident enough to even take them. Even at plus 120 for or whatever, maybe it was minus 120. I don't know, whatever it was for over 6.5. I'm like, I'm not confident enough to take them. I've seen nothing good out of the Colts through the first 2 weeks. Like I said before, I don't like Carson Wentz, but they don't have any good backups. Their backup and third string are worse than Carson Wentz. So
are they your pick?
For what?
Last team to get a win?
No.
Oh, who's that?
Their defense is too good.
So who's the last team to get a win?
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Because I think it takes until like week 8, 9, or 10, or 11 for the Jaguars to figure it out. Here's my bold prediction for them is I think they will finish 3-3 over their last like 6 games.
Okay, I could see that.
They're going to be one of those teams that wins like 0 or 1 games through their first like 13 or 14, or not 13 or 14, but through their first 11, they'll be like 0 or 1 win.
Fair.
And then
yeah.
I think they maybe go 3-3 over the last 6.
Okay. If they can put some wins together, that'd be good for them. Especially making Trevor feel good going into the offseason. That'd be great.
I just think, it's a learning curve, and I think Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence both have to like figure that shit out, and it's going to take a while. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they start 0-8, 0-9, even 0-11. But I do think they'll figure it out late. If I remember correctly, they've got an easier end of the schedule. So.
Yeah, they do have an easier end of the schedule. And those teams have easy ends of the schedule, even though they might not look the best. But Noah, we're coming into the end of baseball season with some interesting races coming into the postseason. We got the wild card races going on right now. Just to catch everyone up in the NL, we have San Francisco and Milwaukee clinching. The Braves are still waiting on a spot in the East just to clinch. And then for the wild card spot, you got the Dodgers in the lead right now. They're 14.5 games back from winning the division, so they're looking pretty good for the wild card spot.
No.
Or am I reading that wrong?
They're 1 game back from the division. They're 14. Yeah. They're 14 games ahead of the second wild card spot.
Yes, that's what I'm reading. Yeah, sorry about that. And that team being St. Louis Cardinals right behind them.
Who are on a 12-game win streak.
True. They are looking pretty good, 12-game win streak.
Which damage, I mean, if you're the Dodgers and you have to play the Cardinals in because we're back to normal playoff format here. If you have to play the Cardinals right now in a 1-game win or go home series, you're fucking shitting yourselves if you're the Dodgers, even though you're 14.5 games ahead of them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is like probably the number 1 team you don't want to play right now, just because of, how streaky baseball is. The Cardinals are hot. 12 straight games.
And they don't look to be slowing down. They have a Cubs series coming up next, which
the Cubs are shit. So
yeah,
they could easily sweep that and push it to how many games? 3 or 4 game series?
I believe it's a 3-game going into the weekend. Before the weekend, let me check.
Obviously numbers wise, I'm I'd actually bet on the fact that their
Oh, it's a
streak
4-game
breaks.
series. Sorry.
I would bet on the fact that their streak breaks during this series, but
Yeah.
even if it doesn't, it wouldn't be like, I mean, if they push it to 16 games, I mean, God, you do not want to be playing this Cardinals team right now.
Well, shit, they have, no joke, they have Cubs, Brewers, Cubs 10 in the season. Like, we could be looking at them winning their next, what is that, 8, 4, 7, 10 games. They could win their next 10 games and go into the postseason 22. And
probably not against the Brewers. I mean, I think, did they just sweep the Brewers though?
Yeah, dude. And like in convincing fashion too. I mean, as convincing fashion as baseball can be. 5-2 their first game, 2-1 in the second game, 10-2 in the third game, and 8-5 in the fourth and final game. You're right, dude. This St. Louis team is looking extremely hot. Dodgers are trending down, in my opinion, recently. Sorry, go ahead.
The interesting thing with this whole NL West race was at the All-Star break. Obviously, the Giants are ahead by a couple games. The Dodgers and the Padres are right there. And everyone's talking. They're like, oh, well, it's only a matter of time before the Dodgers catch up. The Dodgers take the lead. It's only a matter of time. A month later, it's only a matter of time. Looks like we lost you, but I'm going to keep talking.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to get video back. Give me 1 sec.
Oh, gotcha. But, people keep continuing. It's only a matter of time. I think we're at the point where we realize, no, maybe the Giants are the best team in this division. And it's not just a matter of time until the Dodgers pull through. And the Dodgers have had some problems this year. I mean, obviously the Trevor Bauer shit, and they have some issues hitting, and they bring in Scherzer and Trey Turner, and they're really good, but for some reason, it just feels like a Giants year.
Yeah, it really does. And, I was talking with some buddies at work today, and they were kind of bringing up this Giants team looks a lot like that team that won that in 2010. They didn't look like an all-star roster. They had
and then they won in 12, and then they won in 14, and then it was like, oh, the Giants are just going every even year.
Yeah, apparently. But we're in 2021, so this is an odd year.
This is an odd year. If they win in an odd year, we're completely tipping the scales. I don't know. So
wait a minute.
Maybe bet against them. Maybe bet against them once they make the playoffs.
Yeah, if they make it to the World Series, even, do we just fade them because it's not an even year? I mean, that's something
it's an odd year.
Think about, yeah. And something we'll definitely cover on Degenerate Bets in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, San Fran is just looking, they took a loss today, but still looking like a strong baseball team, one of the more consistent teams as well. As much as I hate to say it, the Brewers as well. They're a solid. They're a good team, bro. And I have nothing else to say on that.
They have tremendous pitching. Their batting is very suspect, though.
True, but
their batting worries me very, very much.
I get that, but you can always get runs. It doesn't matter how long the game goes. You can always get runs eventually, as long as it's before 9 ends. If you have a pitching staff that can hold you, because you look at the Diamondbacks, for example, before the All-Star break, we had the bats. Our bats were good. It's the same old problem, though. Our bullpen is shit. You know what I mean? We can have 2 or 3 good starters, and then like a 4 or 5 hole would be okay.
The thing is, you need it. You need it all to win a World Series. So if you're missing any aspect of it, whether it's starting pitching, relieving.
I'm not saying batting, I'm not saying the Brewers are winning a World Series by any means.
You're not set up. You're not set up to win it, and I think there's only a couple teams that are at this point. Obviously, you got the Dodgers, you got the Giants that are both looking really, really good. I don't know that the Brewers can compete with the two of them. And any team in the NL that's going to win the wild card, I don't think they can compete. I mean, I don't think St. Louis is going to be able to stay hot for long enough. Now, if you flip over to the AL side of things, you got the Rays, who I'm not sold on. This is a Billy Bean type of organization, not spending a lot of money, blah blah blah
Yep.
blah. And I've voiced my opinion on this. It is tremendous for regular season wins. It does not prevail in the playoffs. It has not prevailed. The Rays did make it to the World Series last year, but it was a shortened season.
Yep.
Which I don't like to discount that as much as a lot of people do, but still, it was a shortened season. I don't think the spending, not the low spending, prevails. I mean, it can work very well in the regular season when you have a lot of guys who can hit for average, but or not average, but like the get on base thing. That's a little Billy Bean thing. Get
on base
blah,
percentage.
Blah, blah,
yep,
blah.
that's all that matters. Is you get on base, you can move the guys around.
Not when it comes to playoffs. Not when it comes to playoff baseball. You need hits, you need home runs and RBIs, and like situational hitting is so important.
Yeah, it really is.
It doesn't matter if you get hits throughout the game when nobody, like if you're hitting 4 singles or 2 singles, 2 doubles in a game, but every time you hit, nobody's on base, and then you never get brought home. It doesn't fucking matter. It's all for naught, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, it pumps up your stats, but like it doesn't fucking matter.
The stat I always hate looking at whenever I read a D-backs box score is runners left on, because it's always like a stupid number. It's like, we're looking at 11, 10 runners left on, and you're just like, cool, and we scored 0 fucking runs. That is awesome, guys. You guys are fucking killing it.
Somebody needs to one up Billy Bean and look up on base percentage or batting average with runners in scoring position, and put together an entire team. Put together an entire team who comes up clutch. Just get that clutch gene, because some people have it and some people don't.
Yeah,
and that's
honestly.
the reality of it. Some people don't have that clutch gene, and that's what differentiates a professional from an all-star, is when you have that clutch gene. You could hit 240 for your entire career, but if you're hitting 390 with runners in scoring position,
that's clutch. That's clutch. Then, my team needs help, and I'm going to score them some runs, whether it's a sac fly or whatever.
And if you do that over 10 or 15 years, that's all you need, because then your RBI numbers are way up. Like everything, that's what really matters at the end of the day, is who's going to come through when it matters most.
Yeah, it really is.
Because baseball, the season's so long, the regular season, those games don't really, like, any individual game doesn't mean shit. Until you get into the final stretch of the season, and then it's like, then those games are important. But
yeah, and that's one of those fickle things about baseball, is it just changes so much, and that would be really interesting to see how good a team would do with runner, like especially based off of hitter runners in scoring position, and like how good their RBI percentage is at, like, with that. That's interesting to think about, because people just think baseball is just watching a ball, hitting a ball, and catching a ball. And yeah, the fundamentals are you throw a ball, you catch a ball, you hit a ball. That's all you do. But the strategy behind baseball is unbelievable. How these managers put together lineups, their 4-hole, their 3-hole especially, you know what I mean? All that stats and everything that go into it. It's really left at the wayside, and people just kind of discount baseball because it's a little bit slower than most sports. But honestly, in my opinion, it's starting to get to the point where the NFL is turning into, it's still a 3-hour event. Yeah, I'm seeing guys get hit and blown up and stuff, but it's still 3 hours of my life that I'm watching,
Yeah, but anyways, what we're getting at there is
you want to talk about the AL, bro?
The AL. We got Boston. What?
Boston's 2 games up.
2 games up now.
2 games on the Yanks. Yankees only have a 1-game lead on the Blue Jays right now, but the Blue Jays not playing like they're fighting for a spot right now.
Well, yeah, they lost today to the Twins 7-2.
And they lost yesterday to the Twins. I do not remember that score, but they lost.
Yeah, they didn't play the Twins yesterday.
Who the hell did they play?
They had a series against the Twins like 4 days ago.
Oh,
But they lost to the Twins. I wouldn't expect that to continue.
yeah.
Although the Twins are above 500 over the past 2 months, so yeah, we're finishing the season strong.
Yeah, just those last 2 months. You gotta love it.
I mean, if we go 500 over our last like 10 or 12 games or whatever it is, I saw a stat, then we'll avoid a 90 loss season. So
Hey, congratulations. I literally don't know what that's like because I'm a Diamondbacks fan, and we are at 104. We might not even get 50 wins, dude. I swear to God. Anyway.
no, I mean, I said it in our last episode. This race between Boston, New York, and Toronto, especially given their schedules, will get very hot the last like 3 to 5 days of the MLB season. I fully expect to see a game 163 out of 2 of these teams. I think Boston will probably get that number 1 spot, and I would not be surprised to see the Yankees and the Blue Jays have a game 163 to play it out. And then we have a 1-game series in Boston with whoever wins that shortly after.
Postseason baseball is back. I love it, dude.
And it's beautiful because they're all in the same division.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, got to watch out for the Mariners. Only 2 games
all
back.
Of a sudden, what the hell?
Mariners only 2 games back. The A's are what, 4.5?
4 games back, and then you got Cleveland at 10.5.
Mariners just swept the A's in a 4-game series, by the way, to shoot from below the A's to now 2 games above the A's. Yeah, we now have a new player with the Mariners too, who are potentially, I haven't even like looked at the rest of their schedule because I've been so focused on the other teams. I don't know who they have left in their, I mean, most of these teams have like 9 to 12 games left or something like that.
So the Mariners have the Angels this weekend,
which should be a series win. I mean, they are the better team.
True.
Angels obviously a wild card because they're one of those teams that are like not that good overall, but they can just beat any team on any given night. But they lose a lot.
Yeah.
They just can always beat you.
Always, though. And then they wrap up the season with a 3-game homestand with the Athletics and a 4-game homestand with the Angels.
So they have 7 home games to end the season.
Yep.
And they have 10 games left, and 7 of those, 7 or 6 are against the Angels.
3. 6 of them. So 6 against the Angels, and then 3 against the Athletics. They have 9 games left. I miscounted.
Who they just swept the A's in a 4-game series.
Oh, you bet, bud.
Shit, man. Mariners might be a team to watch out for.
Dude, they could sneak in. They could maybe.
Well, they have been sneaking in. I mean, they're.
So what?
I mean, it's looked for the last 2 months. It's looked like this was going to be, Boston, New York, and Toronto fighting it out, and maybe the A's, and then the A's dropped off. But now we got Seattle, who's like, hey, sneaky fucking team that nobody's been paying attention to all season is now like, hey, what about us?
What about us, guys? What about us? Here we are. And that's gonna.
And I'm not opposed. I'd love to see it.
I would love to see Seattle come back and make a wild card and then go to the playoffs. Yeah, that's baseball for you, baby.
Especially if it means the Yankees aren't making the postseason.
Thank you. That would be amazing. I would love to not even see the Yankees have a 163. I'd love them to just drop out after the 162. That would be freaking amazing.
How about we have a Toronto and Seattle 163? That
I'd
could
be
be
hype
fun.
on that. That would be a lot of fun. I don't even know who I would bet on it. I would have to wait for the matchups to come out because that would be, and then especially if you have to play Boston 2 days later or a day later. I mean, whoo,
Yeah,
we're in for
because
some fun in the AL.
yeah, not really looking like we're gonna have any real good. I mean, it's possible, but not looking like we have a good chance at a 163 in the NL. But the AL, it looked. I mean, as the days keep going on, it looks realer and realer. So,
It really does.
especially when you have four teams within 2 games of each other, or
Yeah.
not 2 games, 14. What?
Yeah, they're all about within 2 games. I mean, Boston's only up by two games on the Yankees.
4 teams within 4 games.
Yeah. Okay.
Boston's up 4 on Seattle, but
Yeah, you're right.
with 10 to 12 games left each, I mean, I don't even know. Like, what happens if they have a 4-way tie?
We go to 164 and then the wild card game.
Like,
you get two 163s, a 164, and then you're good to go.
Is that what happens? Like, do you know that? I don't even know.
Listen, no, I have no idea. But
I assume
honestly,
it goes
that sounds a little
to
too smart.
tiebreakers.
Oh, it would, because the MLB doesn't know how to make money for their own good. They wouldn't.
Which is funny because they'll go to a 163, but if they hit a 4-way tie, I'm sure they'd go to tiebreakers.
Oh God, and that just shows this, like, and that's why the MLB is slowly falling and like lower and lower every year. It's literally because of this.
And maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they do have a protocol.
Shit, I hope they do, because that would be great.
Oh my God, can you imagine they just extend bracket? They have a 4-way tie, so they have 2 teams play each other, and then the winner of each of those play each other, and then the winner of that one gets to go and play in the playoffs.
Just extend the AL season by like 2 weeks, and then the NL team just gets like a 2-week break before the World Series. That'd be epic.
No, because each of those rounds of that would all be 1 game, so like you're only pushing everything back like 2 to 3 days. So it's not even that big of a deal.
You'd have to do it at a neutral.
And then it's cutthroat. And then it's cutthroat. I love cutthroat. No, you just you
would have to, because you got Toronto and Seattle, Boston and New York. Like, that's fine, but Toronto, Seattle, you'd have to do it at a neutral location, and then it would have to be a 3-game playoff. That would be.
I don't know, man.
Dude. No, listen.
No.
You do it at the Field of
3 game.
No, but you know what I mean. No. You know what I mean, though. You win 1-1-1.
Field of Dreams in Iowa.
Field of Dreams. Give me 3 games at Field of Dreams, with one team winning 1 game, one team, and then the winners on the 3rd night at the Field of Dreams. MLB, this is not that hard. It is beyond late at night. We are a little tipsy here, and we're coming up with this shit. Okay, we're printing you money as it is. If this happens, if we get into a 4-way tie, we need a playoff at the Field of Dreams. Please and thank you. Write that check now. I'll even take the Sandlot. I don't give a shit at this point.
I love the cutthroatness of it. Like,
yes,
I love having 2 rounds in a row.
Yes,
I mean, you have your 3 division winners, but then you take the next 4 and you make them play a single elimination tournament to get into that wild card spot in the playoff. It's just cutthroat.
Dude.
By the way, to any like MLB fans out there who ever shit on NFL, yeah, you're fucking dumb, because this is why NFL is so exciting, because you'll lose and you fucking go home.
Yeah.
Like, it means more. And NBA and NHL and fucking everybody. Like, this is why the NFL playoffs are so much more exciting than any other playoffs. And I love all the other sports. I do. I really do. But NFL will always be king, because you lose and you go home.
Yes, absolutely. And
you can't afford a bad game.
No, and thinking about it, you know what I mean? If this does happen, you know what I mean? We have a 4-way tie for the wild card and everything. Those 3 games would draw more than the rest of the playoffs. Simple as that.
Yeah, both the play-in and, now that the MLB's expanded to, the having 2 wild card spots to fight for that last spot in a one game, like, it just means so much more. and you're going to get so much more out of the players because
Yeah.
it's like literally you lose, you go home.
Yeah, it's not, oh, well, I'll get them tomorrow. It's, no, I'm not
And
here right now.
And that's
Not
how
here anymore.
That's how the NFL's been forever. And
Yeah.
I do love watching other sports and other leagues, but
Love it.
When it comes to playoffs, I always have felt none of them compare to the NFL.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You know, everything is one game, and that's the difference. One game means the world in the NFL.
And
you know what I mean?
The underdog can win in football.
Oh, easily.
In these 7-game series, it's very rare that the underdog can actually prevail and win, because 95% of the time the better team will win.
Yeah, 100%. That's just baseball.
Yeah, maybe even more than 95, maybe 99% of the time. Well, baseball, basketball, or hockey. Like, well, hockey is a little bit more variable, but football. You could be the underdog every single game through the playoffs and you can win.
Yeah. Very easily.
You can't do that. You can't do that in other sports.
You can't. And you do have the chance, the teams that do it, but it's just so many few and far between.
Which is why I think these game 163s and these wild card playoff games are more exciting than the fucking World Series.
100%, dude.
There's so much more emotion. I mean, maybe not than like clinching games in the World Series, but there's so much more emotion. Like, the fans are so much more into it. It's like a game 7, but only in one game. Like, it's a game 7 without having to play the rest of the series.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And game 7. And that's why every sport, you always hope for a game 7, because you know that is going to be the best game you are going to see out of any of these teams, is a game 7, especially in the finals, the World Series, whatever the hell you want to call them. It's just good. It's the best of the best playing their best for one game and one game only. And that's why the Super Bowl is the most watched sporting event in the world.
Every single year?
Every year.
And it's always breaking its own record too, so.
Yeah, I wonder how it's going to do this year. Let me tell you, it's going to do fucking great. Hopefully we'll get better commercials, though, because I don't know about you. I was not a fan of these commercials last year.
Yeah, I just feel like the older and older I get, like, the less amused I am by them.
I don't know if it's age, though. I don't know, dude. I just think they've gotten shittier.
Oh, I was going to say, and then I'm sure once I hit like 35, I'll start enjoying them again. But
you think we're just jaded at this point?
I think we're like in the age range where like the stupid jokes aren't funny and like dumb humor's not funny. And then like once you start hitting a certain age again, then like they hit you in like a different way and you get like the innuendos and shit. And
I don't know, man. I think stupid jokes definitely still land with like us. I mean, Joe definitely agrees.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like stupid jokes and shit, but
are you not going to ask who Joe is? Wow, Noah. Wow, really?
Trying to get my fucking charger.
Oh, sure. That's what it is. It's the charger. You just didn't want to go into a Joe Mama joke. That's fine. I'll give you a pass on that one.
I also wasn't gonna fucking respond to that. Dumbass.
Whatever. Regardless, Noah, I really hope this game 163, 164 happens for MLB. I think it's good for the sport, especially if they do it at Field of Dreams. They have the field. You might as well use it and not just put it away for next year.
That would be really cool. But
that would be freaking epic. Yeah, because we got a stooge Rob Manfred running the league, and I swear to God, that guy needs to retire. Okay, here's my thing. I would rather Rob Manfred step down as commissioner of the MLB than Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace get fired. That's how much I just think he's doing a bad job. He just sucks at what he does. Like, he is not good. It's like watching a toddler run around with scissors. You just know it's going to end badly. Rob Manfred is not a good commissioner. He never was a good commissioner, and he never will be a good commissioner. And he just keeps proving it day in, day out. It's a miracle he can tie his own shoes, or at this point, he's
That's
probably
a
using
hot
Crocs.
take. Would you like some more hot takes?
No, that's not all of them, dude. So for those of you who don't know, Noah,
No, that's like not even a third of them. Like I have way more in the bag.
So for those of you listening on Spotify, Noah in between filmings got hungry, and so he ordered some Taco Bell. And Noah, what did you order? What else did you order from Taco Bell besides your food?
I ordered 30 hot, 30 fire, and 30 Diablo sauces.
Oh wow, that's 90 sauces,
And
bro.
yeah, it was. And my DoorDash driver or the person at Taco Bell, I don't know who packages the order, does whatever, who's in charge of sauces. But they came through. So now I have 90 packets of sauces from Taco Bell. It was the bag was abnormally heavy, and that explains a lot of it. Because there, I got all the sauce.
I can't believe they gave you 90 sauces, bro. That's so many sauces.
Well, I did it as a meme. I didn't actually think they were going to give me that much fucking sauce.
But here you are. You're paying for your consequences of your actions now, Noah. Now you're stuck with unlimited Taco Bell sauce. That's probably a lifetime supply of sauce. I don't know anyone that would use that many packets of sauce.
Well, I used like 7.
Shit.
So I guess
was
I only
it a
have
mixture?
Like, yeah, but I guess I only have like 83 now. So
damn, you're low, dude. You better order another 90.
I am shocked by the amount of sauce that was in there. I can't lie.
I bet, dude. I bet. Hey, if you were a college football player, that would have been filled with money and not sauce instead.
Yeah. It's bad that my like computer charger's like sparking.
So what do you mean sparking?
Like I'm trying to plug it in and it's like sparking.
Well, that's definitely not one of the better things. Have you tried turning it on and off again, your charger?
I don't think it turns on and off.
Well, then you're in kind of a predicament here, my bud.
Yeah. Anyways,
any other thoughts on the MLB wildcard race before we sign off for the night?
Let's go BJs.
Yeah, go BJs. We're big BJ fans here.
I'm a big fan of BJs.
Dude, hey, all right, we're gonna ride with the BJs then. We're big BJ fans here. Degenerate takes the BJ show.
Yeah, I mean the Twins are out of it, so I think I'm gonna become an even bigger BJ fan than I already am.
Fair enough.
MLB playoffs.
Fair enough, man. I honestly don't know where I'm gonna lean. But the BJs, they do seem like a good team, especially if they can pull it out in the end. Yeah. So with that being said, we will be back next week with coverage of all of NFL Week 3 action, all of college football Week 4 action, all of MLB action, and more of a deeper look at this wild card race as it gets hotter. We may even talk basketball, which would be kind of insane for us since we haven't talked basketball since we heard about the geriatric Lakers forming out in LA and that retirement home at the Staples Center they're building. But, we'll see if Noah's laptop catches on fire next time here on Degenerate Takes.